Granite City. A whole lot of running with some rope climbs and some lunges in there.
That's right, and they're gonna go through 3 rounds of that, and then of course they're gonna sandwich it with a final run, running being the huge dictator in this event, Sean. We've learned that thus far with the 2 heats of women, but the rope climb and the feedbag matter. They've gotta move with haste on the field of play.
First of 2 heats getting set for the men. And again, this is a run inside the venue here at P&J Live. It's gonna be a 2-lap circuit, 650 meters. They thought about doing this outside. It is cold and chilly outside. It's also a little slick, so they moved it inside. And I actually think it's a pretty cool feature here of this event, as the fans get to see the athletes run through the venue. They'll make a trip through Velner Village. Lane assignments here for the first of 2 heats. There'll be 8 athletes out on the competition floor. Harry Lightfoot will have the hometown crowd behind him. He'll be in lane number 2. And there is Harry, and we're underway.
These men are starting with a ferocious pace. I mean, Harry Lightfoot is running out the gate of this thing like it's a 1-lap race.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
It is a bold strategy. We'll see how it plays off. Look, especially when you see a vet like Jonikowski, who typically fares pretty darn well when we're pounding the pavement and getting in the mileage and going a little bit long. And Harry's just continuing to lay it down as if he could just simply get out ahead and stay out ahead, which maybe that's going to be something that pays off well for him. We will see.
What's at stake coming in this event?
We can talk about all the things here, but it's an opportunity for these athletes at the top, especially when we watch them come out into the second heat, to really back up their current position. They've got to back up the talk. They've got to back up the expectations. We're thinking about Jeff Adler with an event like this still to come and take the field of play. But it's going to be really important for him to seize the opportunity there. And then it's a chance for none other than Jason Hopper to join the club. We're talking about a clash of champions all weekend long. Jason Hopper's going to be watching this first heat take the floor and have a series of times that he knows is going to be competitive and some that might need to be beaten in order for him to continue to climb the ladder and try to win the Rogue Invitational.
Trying to become a Rogue Invitational CrossFit Games champion in the same year. Something that both Justin Medeiros and Matt Fraser have done. Harry Lightfoot is out front early, and we'll see if he can keep this pace. This is an aggressive pace here, to maybe understate things a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it from Harry because he's a rookie at the Rogue Invitational, and why not roll the dice and see what you're made of here in this field? He has accumulated a ton of lessons already, I'm sure of it, and now to kick off day 3, if he senses he has an opportunity, man, go take that thing.
Lightfoot leads the way back into the arena here as he closes out his first of 2 laps.
You can see him peeking at the Jumbotron, getting a good idea of where the other competitors are currently. We got some solid runners in this field. Austin Hatfield, you see the other rookie there, but Austin Hatfield, Chandler Smith, Saxon Panchik, all athletes that I think will be eyeing an opportunity to move up the leaderboard with this event.
Fabian Hermans out of France is the man in the blue shirt, white headband.
Well, the lead that Harry Lightfoot established early has already diminished, and he will begin soon enough paying the price for starting so fast, because now it literally awarded him 0 advantage.
Saxon Panchik and Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson had already tracked him down. Hatfield and Chandler Smith are there as well. There's Fabian Hermans. And Saxon Panchik was a late addition to the field here.
Yeah.
He was inserted into the lineup once Dallin Pepper withdrew.
Yeah, we talk about being able to seize an opportunity. I mean, anytime you get a call or a message to be able to come to a competition like the Rogue Invitational here in Aberdeen, Scotland, you're not going to turn it down. And the beautiful thing is that he stayed ready enough to be here and go head-to-head with some of the fittest men on earth.
I want to apologize to Fabian Hermans. He is from the Netherlands, not France. There's Hermans in the background. Yep. He's done a pretty good job for a rookie. 16th place overall. Best finish was 6th in event 3. Got here courtesy of the online qualifier. As Saxon Panchik is going to be the first man to the rope climbs, followed by Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson and Harry Lightfoot. The 4 rope climbs for the men. And then the feedbag is 150 pounds.
Yeah, and this extra rope climb for the men, Sean, will play a bit of a factor. It's just one more opportunity, a little bit longer time-wise for them to make moves while on the field of play.
68 kilos in that bag as Saxon Panchik is working through his rope climbs. Final rep here for Panchik, and he'll move to the feedbag. Gudmundsson and Smith have passed Lightfoot. You see Brent Fikowski there sitting with Matt O'Keefe.
Yeah, great job there by Saxon. Not wasting too much time. Again, adopting a similar way to shoulder and get that feedback to his back that we saw Emma Lawson using in the last women's heat. Turning it sideways, then rotating it after you get it over your shoulder.
It's Gudmundsson, Smith, Hatfield, and Lightfoot all on the lunge at the same time. They're fighting for second place behind Saxon Panchik as Panchik is about ready to dump that 150-pound and 68-kilo feedbag and get out on his second of 4 1,300-meter runs. First of 2 heats for the men here. First of 3 events that they will face here to close out the 2025 Rogue Invitational. 9 events total over 3 days. This will be Harry Lightfoot, not Lightfoot, I'm sorry, Austin Hatfield who's done first. Lightfoot will be behind Chandler Smith. Bjorn Gudmundsson is 4th in that pack. Gudmundsson in 15th place overall. And out on his second of 4 1,300-meter runs. Austin Hatfield, 14th place overall. His best finish was 8th in event 2. Chandler Smith is trying to crack the top 10. He's in 11th place coming in. He's 25 points back of Hapalainen for 10th. Saxon Panchik is way in front. His best finish came in the opening event when he took 6th place overall. Since then, everything has been 13th or worse.
Yeah, doing a nice job right now. Got himself a healthy lead. Wants to get an opportunity to make his way up the standings. I know he has a firm understanding that some of these beasts that are waiting for heat number 2 are going to be the strongest runners in the field. So in order to get a top 8, top 7 time for him from heat 1 is going to be a challenge. He's got to really dig in here, regardless of where the other competitors are around him.
Well, the battle for second is going on behind Saxon Panchik. There's Hatfield, Smith, and Lightfoot are involved in that. Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson has fallen back a bit in that pack. Just made the turn to Gudmundsson around that corner. These guys like to close out their first of 2 laps on the second of 4 runs.
Hatfield, a rookie here at the Rogue Invitational, has finished 10th at the CrossFit Games and as high as 5th this last year.
One lap down for Saxon Panchik.
Talk about pedigree. I mean, Saxon, younger brother to Scott Panchik, twin brother to Spencer Panchik. A lot of fitness running through that DNA in that family, Sean.
Scott Panchik is here as part of the Legends competition. I mean, he still looks like he can get out there and compete, and he did in the Masters competition. See the history of running at the Rogue Invitational. We've had some long runs in the past, but this one is one of the longest. In 2022, they did that 4.2-mile run with weight.
How about the weighted ruck in 2023? Holy moly, that was heavy. Strip off some weight, run some more. I'll never forget that one.
That was a brutal event. Saxon Panchik getting set to make his 4th trip through Vendor Village here. Austin Hatfield has separated himself from the pack in that battle for 2nd place. Chandler Smith is trying to chase down Hatfield. And here comes Harry Lightfoot.
Chandler Smith, there's not many people in our sport that suffer better than this man. When his heart rate's high and the movements are simple, he's going to be up there with some of the best. Finished as high as 2nd in 2022 at the Rogue Invitational.
Chandler Smith wrestled at West Point for 4 years. And if you know wrestlers, they're just a different breed, man. Those guys just do not quit.
Yeah, I got a memory of Chandler just in the back at one of his first major competitions. It was Wadapalooza, and he was warming up. I'm talking for like 45 minutes before an event. It was unheard of at our time in the sport. Doing movements that you were like, hey man, what are you doing back here? And that's the wrestler in his mind, preparing his body for battle. Old habits die hard.
Saxon Panchik getting set to close out his 2nd and final lap. Austin Hatfield starting to close the gap a little bit. And there is Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith also has an athletic father. His dad, Cedric, played in the NFL for 6 years, and he was the fullback for Emmitt Smith at Florida. And Cedric is now the assistant strength and conditioning coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Panchik back for his 2nd set of 4 rope climbs. And Hatfield making the turn. So Hatfield has closed the distance a little bit between himself and Panchik.
Yeah, that was a very strong run for Austin on that last outing.
Here comes Chandler Smith for his first of 4 rope climbs. Gudmundsson and Lightfoot are back in the building.
Austin doing a great job at minimizing the work needed here to get to the top of the rig. He doesn't spend much time on that mat. Now he's taking a break for chalk here.
Panchik is through his 2nd of 3 sets of rope climbs and back to the 150-pound, 68-kilo feedbag.
We talk about that feedbag being a little bit of a unique challenge to figure out how you want to shoulder it. Once it gets there, the weight itself isn't a huge challenge for these athletes, but when you think about the work accumulated, not just for the running that they're doing now, but through the course of the weekend, tax collector on Friday night, 40 back squats at 315 pounds. Their hips are feeling it and they've got to fight through that soreness and fatigue here.
Chandler Smith trying to chase down Austin Hatfield. Hatfield has made the turn. He's in the green shirt as Saxon Panchik heads out for his third of 4 1,300-meter runs. 27 scored reps in this event. The lunge counts for 2. The run will also count for 2. They get a point per lap. Hatfield's done. He's going to try to continue to cut into Saxon Panchik's lead. And Chandler Smith solidly in third place. He's back out on the run. The battle for 4th taking place on the lunge right now between Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson and Harry Lightfoot.
Hatfield was able to close the distance there on Saxon Panchik just a little bit in that last running effort. We'll see if he can push this pace, especially going into the second lap again, to see if he can reduce that. Saxon holding his pace here.
Well, Hatfield was able to reel him in a bit on the last run. And Panchik got one rope climb in before Hatfield joined him on that portion of the event in the prior round. Saxon making the turn back toward the arena here. Chandler Smith is behind Hatfield.
Athletes trying to fight for these points here. Again, we got to understand this whole test of fitness is going to go down. There's going to be 9 total scored events. This is only number 7. This is the first event that is going outside of 25 minutes and beyond. There is opportunity for every athlete, even the ones currently in Heat 1, to jump up to Heat number 2, to put themselves in a top 10 position, and that's what they're currently fighting for. That is what at stake for each and every one of these athletes currently here in Heat 1.
Different time cap for the men and the women, 30-minute time cap here. So Austin Hatfield is not only trying to reel in Saxon Panchik, but he's trying to hold off the man behind him, Chandler Smith. Smith looks like he's starting to close the gap a bit.
Definitely has gained a little bit of distance between he and Hatfield. We'll see how they both manage the work coming back in after the second lap.
Second and final lap for Saxon Panchik on this third of 4 runs. Chandler Smith starting his second lap.
Sean, this is where we really start to see all these hours and commitment to the training, to the volume these athletes have to accumulate. Not just to do well within this 25-minute event, but to be able to recover day to day, to be able to recover from event to event. There's already been so much demanded from them in the first 6 events, and to now be able to hold these paces on a run and continue to have this focus in through Event City here in Granite City. It's a really great ode to their commitment to the process and the training volume at which they continue to have all year round.
Hatfield took a look over his right shoulder to see where Chandler Smith was. Chandler Smith has been at the Rogue Invitational every single year it's been held. It's his 7th appearance. He was 2nd here in 2022.
Yeah. And it's very impressive to watch men who are so physically strong. Someone like Chandler Smith, who can snatch over 305 pounds, clean and jerk is bested over 360 pounds, and can sustain such running paces. That's really what we're trying to build in our athletes here. Well-rounded fitness. This guy can also cruise and run an 18-minute 5K.
Austin Hatfield is really starting to reel in Saxon Panchik, and Chandler Smith is getting up there as well.
We talked about the advantage and disadvantage of positioning on long-running events, and this is where Hatfield and Chandler Smith both had been able to play off Saxon a little bit. Let him suffer and establish the lead, and we're just going to try to game him at just the right time, make our moves, set ourselves up for this big final push on the last two laps.
Now Hatfield just made the pass of Saxon Panchik, but Hatfield's lane is a little farther down here. The Saxon is still in the lead, but not by much. It is pretty much dead even right now, heading into the final round of rope climbs. 4 more reps here for these athletes fighting for the lead in heat number 1. Panchik makes the touch first, followed by Hatfield. Chandler Smith knocks out his first rep. 3 remain. Panchik gets right to work on his 3rd rep as Hatfield takes a break to chalk his hands. Final rep for Saxon Panchik. Hatfield on the way down after completing his 3rd. Chandler Smith just got through his 3rd rope climb. Final rope climb for Panchik on the far side. He's done. He'll head to the lunge. Here comes Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson. As Saxon Panchik gets to work on the 150-pound, 68-kilo feed bag. Austin Hatfield is there as well, so the lead has decreased here. And Panchik takes off on the lunge just ahead of Austin Hatfield. Chandler Smith to the bag.
Yeah, we're in for a race here, Sean. I mean, this is gonna, they're all gonna really start to get out that door at a similar time. And we know due to the lane situation here already. Hatfield's gonna have to finish well in front of Smith. Smith's gonna have to finish well in front of Panchik in order to have an advantage coming down the lanes on the final stretch.
Panchik has a couple lunges remaining before he's over the red line for the final time, and then we close out with that 1,300-meter run. Hatfield took a brief pause. Panchik is done. And then Hatfield is in. Chandler Smith getting through these lunges. Hatfield and Panchik pretty much dead even here on this final 1,300-meter run. Here comes Chandler Smith.
Just got to run now. Didn't need the glasses for the last 2 laps.
I think he tossed those to his wife, maybe?
Hopefully someone who knows.
Here are your leaders, Saxon Panchik and Austin Hatfield.
Wow. Austin already made a move to pass Saxon. That's not what I expected. I honestly expected him to sink back just a touch, a little bit longer, even in through this entire first lap before he made that move. But clearly, maybe he's just more confident in leading the pack and dictating the pace instead of going off of someone else's pace. But now Saxon just gets to chase on his heels and draft a little bit to set himself up for a final push.
Chandler Smith. They're pretty much neck and neck because, once again, Saxon Panchik's lane is closer to the entrance than Austin's.
And again, that's another advantage that Saxon has, being in the trail position here. Just stay close enough. Stay close enough. You'll give yourself an opportunity. And by reading body language, I mean, Saxon looks like he's reaching and grinding here a little bit more than Austin. Austin looks a little bit more composed and in control. It's always very hard to gauge off of looking at how bad the athletes seem to be suffering, because as a CrossFitter, we get really good at that.
Austin Hatfield continues to stay in front of Panchik as they're on the back half of this first lap on their final 1,300-meter run.
And here comes Chandler, starting to close the gap just a little bit on Saxon.
Well, it's likely this one's going to be a sprint to the finish.
Yeah. We have an entire second lap after these athletes enter the field of play. They'll continue on for one more round. That'll approximately give them about 650 meters left.
Panchik would be making the turn right now. So it's pretty much dead even as Hatfield got to his lane at about the same time. Now Austin is starting to put a little bit of distance between himself and Saxon.
And this is where he'll need to find opportunities again. I love that the running course is so unique to the point where there's some blind spots. And if you're leading, that creates opportunity for you to try to break the rope. Right when you make that turn and become blind to the competitors trailing you, you try to accelerate. Break their will to try to chase you down and compete, and that's when you can do it.
Hatfield taking a look over his shoulder, trying to keep Saxon Panchik in his rearview mirror right now.
Yeah, he's accelerated a good bit here. He's keeping a fast cadence, but you'll notice he's just starting to propel himself forward every stride just a touch more.
Chandler Smith is staying close to the top two.
Austin looking fresh, looking really good. In his mind now, he's almost got to start to step outside of considering just head-to-head with Panchik and considering all the guys again in heat number 2 that are going to be chomping at the bit to best whatever time he establishes here.
Austin Hatfield is doing a nice job of making sure he might avoid a sprint to the finish here. Hatfield's getting close to making it back inside the building. And he looks like he's in the clear.
This is good for Hatfield. This is one of those events where I think he's got a season opportunity and maximize his points. I think he's had a few this weekend that he'd like to have back. We know that he's pretty well-rounded when it comes to fitness, but it seems like some pacing had been off, maybe some bad choices. This one he seemed to nail just right.
Hatfield back inside the arena, and he has put plenty of distance between himself and Saxon Panchik. And Austin Hatfield makes the turn to the finish line. Saxon Panchik just now making the turn. He's not going to have enough time to catch Hatfield. Hatfield will take the heat, 27:33.37 seconds, and Saxon Panchik is in second place, and it's going to be Chandler Smith who's going to take third. (27:50.63) for Smith. Guimaeros is
still plenty of work to do for Guy.
Still a lot of work left for him.
Yep.
Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson should be the next man to finish. And he's now just coming into the building. It's Fabian Ermans. Currently in last place. Harry Lightfoot's behind him. Lightfoot's just about done. for Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson. 4th place in the heat. 28:53.46 seconds for BKG. Fabian Ermans is on his first lap.
Yep.
Lightfoot will make the turn. And Harry Lightfoot is going to get inside the 30-minute time cap. 29:24.44 seconds.
And he won the first lap. Got that one under his belt.
Waiting on Jonakoski. And he's got 15 seconds left. So Ermans is going to get capped along with Maieros. So it looks like Koski's going to get capped too, because he's had yet to return to the arena here. And now Koski has just gotten inside, but he's going to run out of time. It's Austin Hatfield who takes the heat. 27 minutes, 33.37 seconds. I did a really nice job of tracking down Saxon Panchik over the course of that event.
Get this one. This one first, please.
Oh yeah, pictures and autographs. Pictures and autographs. Gotta do it.
Some athletes are still spread out on the course, so we got to get them back here. That was Saxon Panchik out front early, and Austin Hatfield just ran the perfect race.
He really did. We talked about him wanting an opportunity like this throughout the course of the weekend, and he got it here. Finally nailed one for where his fitness is. He might look back on this thing and wish he would have even paced it and pushed it a little bit sooner, but he did a great job using Saxon as a tool, staying close enough to stay within threat's distance so that then he could lay down the hammer on the final run, and he was able to seize the moment and do exactly what he needed to do to get a Heat 1 win here in Granite City.
Austin Hatfield looking to match his best performance of the competition. He's got an 8th place under his belt. We still have another heat to go, but he's looking good with that 27:33.37 seconds. 5 seconds up on Saxon Panchik. Chandler Smith will take 3rd as Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson and Harry Lightfoot, the other 2 men, to finish the work inside that 30-minute time cap. Second heat coming up, and here are the overall standings coming into the event. Pat Velner with a 20-point lead over Jeff Adler. Jason Hopper, the 2025 fittest man on earth, is 25 points back in the lead, and Justin Medeiros and James Sprague round out the top 5, and we are set for Heat 2, and we are underway. This is the final heat. We got 2 events remaining after this. The stakes have gotten higher, so what is at stake here in event number 7?
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a lot of runners in this field, and this is their opportunity to back it up. Specifically, I'm looking at the man in the black shirt with tear across it that just ran by, Mr. Jeff Adler. He likes to call his shot for these running events, and this is his chance to show it. And then it's an opportunity for Mr. Hopper to join the club. He's got to continue to climb this list of standings if he wants to be a part of the same list as Justin Medeiros and Jeff Adler as CrossFit Games champs, then turned Rogue Invitational champs.
Adler, fittest man on earth, won the Rogue Invitational. Medeiros has done it. Matt Fraser has done it. And that man, Jason Hopper, looking to accomplish the same thing. And he's been making a methodical climb up the overall standings.
This is not unfamiliar territory where we start to see some, again, we saw this a lot with the women where people just naturally break into groups. Ricky loves the lead and has no problem setting the pace on a very aggressive run. We've watched him run sub 5-minute miles at the CrossFit Games and turn around and win sprint events within the next 6 minutes. James Sprague, another athlete that we've got to watch closely, one of the finest runners in the field and in a great position here to still have a chance towards the top of that podium.
Speaking of James Sprague, Kiki Dixon has more on him. Kiki?
Guys, overall, James considers himself a grindy athlete. He said, the harder it gets, the better I do, which is very fortunate for him. He's looking to stay aggressive on the non-running portion of this event, right? So he wants to move through the rope climbs and lunges as fast as possible in order to get back on that run and hang with the top runners. He's looking for a top 5 finish with this event at a minimum. For the way the rest of the day is gonna look, event number 8, he said it's gonna be a little bit of damage control. And on that last and final event, event number 9, guys, he's looking for the W.
Thanks, Kiki. James Sprague currently in 5th place with 435 points. He's only 15 points back at Jason Hopper for that final spot on the podium.
Yeah, Sean, and we can expect a good bit of shuffling here. I mean, this field is so stacked with high-capacity athletes. You see James Sprague there in the white tank top peeking at his heart rate monitor. He's trying to stay in control, a lot like what Kiki just alluded to. He's pacing this portion, not really sending it, not selling his soul to his efforts on the run. Although he is a great runner, he's trying to keep a little bit in the bank so that he can go fast on the field of play and then get back out with the top runners in the latter rounds.
Jay Crouch behind Sprague, followed by Medeiros and Hopper. Second of 2 laps here on this opening 1,300-meter run.
Jay Crouch, another athlete who's trained very closely, right there trailing James Sprague with Tia Claire Toomey. Jay has had an opportunity to, as well as Ricky Gerard, join the proven team and be right there with the lessons that Tia has to offer as being one of the only 2 women to win the Rogue Invitational. Of course, the greatest athlete of all time in CrossFit Games history.
Pretty tightly packed behind the 3 leaders, Gerard, Krennikov, and Adler. You got James Sprague in the white, Crouch, Medeiros, and Hopper. And then Pat Velner, who's your overall leader, is behind them. Well, Velner's got a 20-point lead on Jeff Adler, but that could disappear quickly here in this event.
You know, with a field that's so deep in athletes that are going to perform very high in a running workout just like this, and outside of the time domain of that 22 to 23 minutes and beyond, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for athletes to fill that void between Pat and Jeff.
Gerard leads the way back into the arena, followed by Roman Krennikov. So Krennikov in the lead as he makes the turn first. Adler chalking up his hands. He and Ricky head to the rope at the same time. So Roman Krennikov, your leader here early, first of 4 rope climbs in this opening round. Sprague is on the rope, followed by Hopper, Medeiros, Crouch. Wow. Here comes Pat Velner. Krennikov has 1 rep remaining on the rope. He's on the far right side of your screen. And now he will head to the sandbag, 150 pounds in that feed bag. He's got a lunge at 50 feet, 68 kilos. Adler is done. Here comes Ricky Gerard.
All these men putting on a display of climbing rope. They make it look extremely easy. It takes a lot of technical proficiency. Pat Velner, one of the greatest at this, shows clean clamps. He's fast down, very sure with his footwork and strong with his grip.
Pat Velner, again, currently your leader with 475 points. He's trailing Adler, Hopper, and Medeiros, but not by a ton. Roman Krennikov is done with his first round, onto his second of 4 1,300-meter runs. Jeff Adler, Ricky Gerard are getting set to finish up as well behind him. Gerard dumps the bag, Adler's got the bag down, and they're out on the 1,300-meter run for the second time.
Roman with about an 8 to 9 second lead on Ricky Gerard, and then another 1 second on Jeff Adler on top of that.
James Sprague is done. Jason Hopper's finished. Hopper has 3 event wins so far in the competition. And if it wasn't for that 18th place finish in the opening event, he'd probably be the overall leader right now. Here goes Justin Medeiros, who's won the Rogue Invitational 2 times, currently 4th place overall.
James looking very composed. Looks like he's out for a stroll in the park, to be honest. And to me, there's a lot of strategy behind that, because we look at these other runners and you can tell they're pushing their threshold a little bit more. There's rhyme and reason behind James laying back just a touch to start this event.
We saw us in Hatfield employ the same strategy. It worked out well for him in heat number 1.
Yeah, the hard thing about being amongst this group is that you get too far back behind these fellas and there's no chance. Yeah, this might be a long run, as we're going to accumulate about 5,200 meters total, but these guys are running this fast.
Time to beat, upper right-hand part of your screen, and the leaders are well ahead of that pace. Hatfield was done with his opening round at 6 minutes, 54 seconds on the clock.
And we know these two have a strong history. Both athletes that are great friends and a lot of interaction. Hopper lobbed up a big thank you to James Sprague on his ability to actually traverse the horizontal pegboard. So we know they spend some time training together, maybe establishing a similar pace on the run cadence due to some previously planned attack strategies.
Last 2 CrossFit Games champions, Sprague in 2024, and of course Hopper in 2025. Followed by another CrossFit Games champion, Justin Medeiros. I mean, if you're Pat Velner and you're looking at the guys who are chasing you, it's just, that's not the group you want trying to track you down.
And listen, but I'll tell you, there's no place you'd rather be. I mean, what a stacked lineup. You're never going to get an opportunity to be competing head-to-head against a group of people like this, a group of athletes.
Roman Krennikov is done with lap number 1 on his second of 4 1,300-meter runs. Rookie Gerard behind him, followed by Jeff Adler. I think Adler was looking over at his coach.
Yep.
For an update on split times, possibly.
Yeah, it could be split times. Could also be an idea of like standings, who's chasing them, where are they at, or should he go, right? Like those are some simple cues that you can give an endurance athlete when it's time to lay down the throttle. Jeff might have been saying, is it now? Is it on this round? Is it on this run? And there probably was some assurance there for him to stay the pace that he's going at and then see it through. Justin Medeiros looking strong so far. This is a bit of an outlier event for him. We've seen the fittest man on earth, this guy, twice. We've seen the champion here twice. And it seems as though that when he's strong at running, Sean, when he's healthy enough to put down the miles and be efficient at this modality specifically, is that it reflects his fitness globally. So we'll get a really good shot of Justin's fitness and snapshot with what he can do in the remaining time of this event.
Justin Medeiros was your overall leader through the first 3 events, but then a 13th place in event 4 knocked him off the top spot in the overall standing. Jake Crouch took over, and then that's when Pat Velner was able to put himself on top of the leaderboard. Velner coming off a 2nd place finish last night in event 6.
Pat's history with these longer events, 9th, 13th, and 10th in the longer running modalities here at the Rogue Invitational in the recent 3 years. If he finishes mid-pack here, the question, Sean, is will it be enough to keep him in contention to have a chance at the top of the podium? Or will there be too many spots between him and the men that are closest to him?
He had a 20-point cushion over Jeff Adler. And Adler can erase that here if these standings hold throughout the event. Jason Hopper currently in 3rd place, tied with Justin Medeiros with 450 points.
And we recently saw Medeiros just make a move on Hopper in the run to get right in behind Sprague. Pat reaching into his pocket, getting settled for that chalk as he prepares to come back in to the field of play for these rope climbs, and it's Roman Krennikov first to the rope.
Krennikov followed closely by Gerard and Adler, those two neck and neck. Krennikov threw his first of 4 reps here in his 2nd of 3 rounds on the rope. Medeiros and Sprague getting set to make their way onto the competition floor. Well, Roman Krennikov currently sits in 7th place overall. He didn't get off to the best start of the competition. He had a 15th and a 14th, but since then, everything has been 5th or better, and he has been climbing up the overall standings. He's got 405 points, 45 points back, a hopper for 3rd.
And all 3 of these men on that feedbag opting for the same style, lapping it like a sandbag and jumping it directly into that back rack position. Smooth.
Krennikov makes the turn. Gerard and Adler are neck and neck. Justin Medeiros working through his 2nd set of rope climbs. He's done. He'll head to the 150-pound feedbag as Krennikov and Gerard are finished, and now Adler is done. James Sprague currently sits in 4th place in the event. Now, Krennikov has traditionally done well at the running events here at the Rogue Invitational 2. In 2023, he was 3rd. 2022, he finished 4th. And he is well ahead of Austin Hatfield's pace right now. Nearly a minute faster than Hatfield. Top 3 in the event, Gerard, Krennikov, and Adler.
Heard Adler's coach yelling at him, Sean. He was saying it's the rope climb, not the run. The rope climb, not the run. That's a cue to him to let him know where he potentially could be losing time. Assuring him that it's not the run. Don't panic, Jeff. You don't need to do anything that you're not doing, but you need urgency on the field of play at the rope climbs is where it sounds like they've noticed a differentiator, a separator.
James Sprague currently in 4th place. Ahead of the 2 men immediately in front of him in the overall standings, Justin Medeiros and Jason Hopper. He only needed to make up 15 points on the 2 of those guys.
James still glancing down at his heart rate monitor, trying to stay in a particular zone, ensuring that he doesn't get his output too high too soon.
Justin Medeiros and Jason Hopper, the 2 men tied with 450 points, or more or less right next to each other here in this run. It's the 3rd of 4 1,300-meter runs. Now Pat Velner is back out on the course. If this holds, Jeff Adler could wind up on top of the overall standings with 2 events remaining.
And Henrik Happelainen here to ruin the party for Pat Velner. Every athlete ahead of Pat between he and Jeff Adler is going to be a strong differentiator and dictator in the outcome of this whole entire weekend. Pat's got to look at them all as the enemy, and he's got to be looking to clip them off as this event continues on.
At the same time, Velner's such a smart competitor. He understands he's got 2 events remaining.
That's right.
As long as he can hang in the middle of the pack, minimize the damage, he'll still have a chance.
Yeah, we talk about the war of attrition, and there's a lot of strong considerations and hard choices athletes got to make. Know your body, know when it's okay to push, know when you'll be able to recover, and would you be able to recover and reconcile the energy deficit that's going to take place from this long, grueling 30-minute test.
The first lap is down. Ricky Gerard, who comes in 8th place overall, is leading the way right now. He's had an up and down competition. Started out great, 2 finishes inside the top 5, then an 18th and a 12th, then a 4th, then an 11th. Gerard looking for some consistency here on day number 3.
And I think he's really got the opportunity, Sean. He really does. Looking at what is to come, the movement selection, the time domains that'll be tested, he's got a chance to start today with some great momentum and really make a march up the standings.
Sprague is done with his first of 2 laps on this 3rd 1,300-meter run. Sprague won the CrossFit Games last year and then came here to the Rogue Invitational and didn't perform the way he wanted to, coming off a bout of pneumonia last year. As you take a look at Justin Medeiros, Sprague still managed to finish 11th that year. There's Jason Hopper, currently sits in 3rd place, 450 points, 3 event wins so far in the competition. Trying to separate himself from that man.
Yeah, Medeiros running strong right now. Jason cannot let him get too far away. We talk about Medeiros. He's always willing to die for points. Jason's got to be sensitive to that and understand that today, with especially what's looming with the overhead squats and the burpees, Jason's a tall guy. His range of motion, it's not going to play out in his favor. He's going to have an opportunity to fight and be scrappy, but he's got to get points where they're available today, and he doesn't want Justin ahead of him on this one.
Medeiros taking a look. That's where everybody peaks, is on that big turn into Vendor Village.
We talk about the advantage of having some of these blind turns as well. When you can and you break away, accelerate those feet, try to break the rope with the competitors that are closest to you. When they see you again, it has a tendency to want to break their will or break their spirit to try to compete. Ricky Gerard entering the field of play.
Gerard is heading to the rope, and he has started to open up a big lead here as he's left Adler and Krennikov well behind him. He gets right to work. Now Krennikov and Adler have just returned to the field of play. Gerard onto his second of 4 reps here. This is the final round on the rope for him. Krennikov to the rope, and here comes Adler, the defending Rogue Invitational champion.
Now I talk about what we heard Jeff's coach yell at him. It's the rope, not the run. He's got to have a great amount of urgency here on these climbs in order to make up time here on Ricky.
Gerard is onto the feedbag.
27-33.
Well, Austin Hatfield was done with round 3 and onto his final run at 21:52. So Gerard well ahead of that pace. Here come Krennikov and Adler to the bag. Justin Medeiros is back in the building, as is Sprague. James Sprague is on the rope. He's in 4th place still in this heat. Medeiros right to work on the rope climb. Ricky Gerard is done with his lunge. So 1,300 meters between Ricky Gerard and an event win here, as he's 2 minutes ahead of Austin Hatfield right now.
Wow.
Krennikov and Adler are neck and neck. Now the good news for Adler, he's well ahead of Pat Velner. He's getting the help he needs to leapfrog Velner for 1st place overall.
And Gerard's got about 20 seconds on both these men.
Sprague getting started on his lunge, as is Justin Medeiros.
Justin really did a tremendous job in closing the gap there on the latter part of that run and also those rope climbs.
Jason Hopper just finished up his rope climbs. He's going to join Sprague and Medeiros on the feedbag. 150 pounds, 68 kilos. It's a 50-foot lunge, 25 feet down, 25 back.
James Sprague literally got knocked out of his shoe right there. He dropped the sandbag on his foot and it slid him out of his shoe.
And Medeiros is now done as well. So he and Sprague more or less even as they start this final 1,300-meter run.
So now Medeiros applying pressure. Can he catch up to Sprague?
And this is where I think Medeiros might try to use James as a catalyst, not necessarily to passing him. I think he knows how good of a runner James is. Now, if he can do it, he should, but he's going to also use him to pull him forward away from Hopper.
Jason Hopper onto the run for the final time.
It's a great rabbit to chase right there in James Sprague.
Sprague heading into Vendor Village with Velner right behind him.
2 minutes on the clock, 30-minute cap. The time for our top athletes to be 27:33.
Jay Crouch came in 6th place overall. And he's currently trailing the men he's trying to catch up with, James Sprague and Justin Medeiros. Crouch at one point was the overall leader in this competition. And Ricky Gerard is done with his first lap and just lapped Pat Velner. The Velner is in danger of falling out of the top spot in the overall standings. If these results hold, Jeff Adler, most likely our new leader heading into the final 2 events, looking to defend his title here at the Rogue Invitational. Gerard lapping Hapalainen.
Yeah, Sean, we talked about how much of an outlier this event is, and this really goes to show it. This is the final heat, the top 10 men at the Rogue Invitational, and Ricky Gerard has already lapped 2 of them early in his 2nd lap. That really just goes to show how much disparity there is within these men when it comes to pounding the pavement and accumulating miles, and as well as elongating this energy system, or how much time we're covering for this long workout.
You think back to last year in the long run event to open things up, and it came down to a sprint between Gerard and Adler. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case here in 2025, as Ricky Gerard is all by himself in front. 2nd and final lap for Gerard, taking a look behind him.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a reverse situation. Ricky was the one lurking in the back there. Looked as if Jeff Adler had it in the bag, and then he came up really hard on him on the end, and he certainly wants to make sure that doesn't happen to him this year. And here comes Adler.
So Adler has now lapped Hapalainen and left Roman Krennikov well behind him. And Adler gunning for the overall lead. Roman Krennikov trying to catch back up with Jeff Adler. He was the early leader, was Krennikov in this heat. Ricky Gerard is looking like he's going to cruise to an event win, his first of the competition. Adler's starting to creep up, but he's going to run out of time. Ricky Gerard back into the arena.
He needed this to start today, that's for sure.
Ricky Gerard makes the turn to the finish, and it's not going to be close this year. Ricky Gerard starts off Sunday with a dominating event win. 25:16.44 seconds for Gerard. Here comes Adler. He's going to finish 2nd in the event, and Jeff Adler may have just put himself back on top of the overall leaderboard. 25:31.69 for Adler. Roman Krennikov doing himself some favors. Another top 5 finish for Krennikov. He'll take 3rd in the event at 25:50.14 seconds, and now James Sprague is your leader on the floor.
Justin
Medeiros may have passed him.
Yep.
Yeah, Justin Medeiros is looking for 4th place here in the event. Medeiros starting to open it up a bit here.
This is going to be huge for Justin Medeiros.
He was tied in points with Jason Hopper, and Medeiros looking to take over 3rd place all by himself.
I don't know what James is still looking at his watch for to finish this event, unless his whole goal is to stay under a heart rate. Watching heart rate's the last thing you need to be concerned with is passing Justin Medeiros.
But Justin Medeiros back inside P&J Live Arena. He'll make the turn to the finish, and Justin Medeiros is going to lock up a 4th place finish. And the former 2-time Rogue Invitational champion is across the finish line inside 27 minutes. Here comes James Sprague. He'll take 5th place in the event. And And now Jason Hopper.
We've got a competition on our hands.
The top 6 times from Heat 2 are going to be your top 6 times in the event. 27:26.62 for Hopper, and pops right down next to James Sprague as Jay Crouch makes his way into the arena.
As he races into that end zone.
Here comes Pat Velner. Happelainen. Heading to the finish line. And he is in, and Pat Velner is in danger of getting time capped.
Sean, we talked about if he would have a Velner event. Sometimes he has these outliers, and this is a chance to be one of them right here.
Well, Velner's done. This is his final lap. So he is going to make it in. But he's going to surrender the top spot in the overall standings to Jeff Adler. He only had a 20-point lead, and Adler got plenty of people between himself and Velner to eliminate that. 29 minutes, 0.91 seconds. Now Colton Mertens is trying to get it inside the time cap.
We knew this would be a tough one for Colton, but I'm telling you, Sean, where he struggles, he also has an opportunity to hit home runs. As a fan favorite, people are going to be real excited to watch him take the floor for the next event.
And that one is in his wheelhouse, and Colton Mertens, with the crowd behind him, gets in inside the 30-minute time cap. 29:49.68 officially for Colton Mertens, but it's Ricky Gerard picking up his first event win in the competition. 25 minutes, 16.44 seconds. He wins the battle, and it's Jeff Adler who could be winning the war. He takes second. Adler will be on top of the overall standings with 2 events remaining.
Great way to start the day for Ricky, and it's certainly something he needed to kind of build some forward momentum.
Well, Roman Krennikov was your early leader, but Adler and Gerard reeled him in, and then Ricky stopped the gas.
Yeah, it was all Ricky. We know he's got the fitness. We know he's got the competitive mindset. It was a little bit of back and forth early between he and Roman Krennikov, but it was here. He didn't relent this lead after he took that spot going into that third run, and it was no looking back. The guys looked like they had a little bit of shuffle back and forth, but no one was willing to contend with Ricky late, not even Jeff Adler himself. And what a way to start the day for Ricky, who had some ups and downs through the course of this weekend. Maybe he'll lead his way up the standings.
Top 6 times, or the top 6 times from that second heat, are the top 6 times in the event. So Gerard, one of 3 men to go sub 26, 25:16.44 seconds for his first event win of the competition. Austin Hatfield's time is good enough for 7th place out of heat number 1. And Ricky Gerard is with Kiki Dixon.
Ricky, you just earned yourself an event win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It seemed that you made your push on the second run. Why did you decide to do it at that point?
Yeah, Roman had me worried at the start, to be honest. When he caught me on the first run and then we ran back in and he was lane 9, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna have a big head start. But I just stuck to my game plan, smooth on the rope, push on the lunges. And then when I got out on the second run, and I had that inside lane and got in front, I was like, this is my chance to break him. And I knew there's heaps of corners, so I was just trying to like sneak around some corners as quick as I could so they couldn't see me. So then try and make them give up, and I think it worked.
How do you keep pushing through, right? At 35 minutes long, this is the longest event for this weekend. What are you doing to make sure that you do stick to your game plan, not come out the gates too hot, and just manage throughout the entire event?
Yeah, I think it's just been intuitive in the workout and knowing the thoughts that are coming into your head and changing them from negative to positive, and trying to keep pushing through. And yeah, I thought Jeff might try and come back at me on the run at the end, and I did see him coming, but I had enough of a lead to get the job done. And having all you guys in the crowd, like the whole way around, was just epic. And yeah, it gave you all the energy you needed to just keep pushing the pace. And yeah, I felt really good, and I'm stoked to finally get a win on this roller coaster of a weekend.
Congratulations on this event win. We'll see you back out here later today. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Ricky Gerard with the event win. Kiki said 35 minutes. The men had 30 minutes in the time cap. We can see Ricky excels in these longer events at the Rogue Invitational. His second straight year that he's won the running event. Of course, he had to do it in a sprint last year against Jeff Adler. This year was not a problem for him. So back-to-back first place finishes for Gerard at the Rogue Invitational. And he's going to move himself up the overall standings. Well, meanwhile, Jeff Adler's moving up as well, and he's probably moving into the top position. And he is with Kiki Dixon.
Adler, it seems after this event you will be back in the top position. How do you manage that with the roller coaster that Ricky was just talking about? You know, you're on top, then you're back down, then, you know, Velner fell back a little bit. What's that like?
There's 2 more to go and tons of work and tons of fitness. So I'm just happy that I was able to manage my pace, not go too hard, too hot, and keep some juice for the last 2.
Now, keeping the juice for the last 2 events, what can we expect from you, you know, with event number 8 and event number 9 on the scale of damage control to that's my event?
I mean, this next one, I need to do something special and try to get a little buffer because the big guys are going to go hard on the bike. And then on the bike, I just hope to finish behind the big and tall guys, and hopefully that will be enough.
And for event number 9?
Yeah, that's the event number 9, the bike one. Just stay behind and do my best.
Great. We look forward to seeing you back out here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Shit.
Jeff Adler looking to be the overall leader with 2 events remaining and back up his 2024 Rogue Invitational Championship. It's taken him a while, but he's finally there. 2 events remain here at the 2025 Rogue Invitational. Laura Horvath leading the way for the women as Emma Lawson picks up the event win. Ricky Gerard takes it for the men, but it's Jeff Adler who puts himself on top of the overall standings. Plenty of action still to come here in Aberdeen. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll have event number 8 as the final day of competition rolls on here at the 2025 Rogue Invitational.